Well, hello, Loopers. I'm Peasant. I'm back with my OG, what I'm calling my OG playthrough, which is this is the long playthrough. It started in the demo. It's still going. And full disclosure, I have played a bit more on this save because I was streaming, and people seem to want to see late game content. So there is a bit more progress on this save. So I hope that's not going to ruffle too many feathers. Well, not in a way that's not pleasurable. If you like like to have your feathers slightly ruffled, like a nice little head scratch. Hopefully it's going to work out like that, and yeah, just start with some complete bobbins. So I'm going to go with I think it's time for warrior. It's time for warrior to have a pop at the old chapter 4. I think that's what we go with. We did just have our science run. So I see the thing about warrior. The thing about warrior is this little ability here: +2% damage for each second of the fight. And I think that makes a huge difference. That really does. Because you just have to outlast, and your damage will scale over time, which is not something the other characters can say. I mean, yeah, they just can't say it. So I'm going to go with something like this. I'm going to go with the suburbs. I love the suburbs. They're my favourite. Just good lads all round. And we're going to go with spiders, so you've got lots of cards. Vampires, I think, are useful. Get you more fights, more experience, more from your suburbs. Though, yeah, interesting with the suburbs. They're great at the start, and then they kind of drop off in value. But then the rocks and mountains can kick in. And then, of course, remove my face, which always hides the oblivion. I like to keep an oblivion behind my face in the real world as well. Just gives my face a certain topography. Oh dear, what am I talking about? Let's so I think we go cemeteries. They drop pretty good loot, and we could. I mean, I really like ruins, but I just not really. Because they evade, you kind of need the blood grove as well. So there are some interesting synergies potentially with them, but I don't think this is the run to explore that. So I quite like just going cemetery village here, and we're just aiming to be Billy Bob Tankerson, and what else do we want to do? I mean, I think we probably just want the oblivion for the flexibility. It means if we're placing villages, we can wipe the bandits when they show up, and then it's like, well, why am I placing villages? It's just a bit more healing. Vampire fights as well, pretty useful. And we're going for quite a minimal deck, so 8 cards. You can prune one of these. I think this should be good, Yeah, we'll go with this. So it looks very, apart from, I mean, this is all stuff that's in the demo. Even the suburbs were in the demo. The demo, which no longer is available on Steam. So if you're still kind of on the fence about this, you can still get the alpha, which is on itch.io. Okay, let's see. So we're going tanky, and we're on the old chapter 4. So we have to. It's tricky. Chapter 4 is tricky. A lot of things that seem perfect on chapter 3 all of a sudden are just a bit sad on chapter 4. So we're going to go with some suburbs. I think because they like being in a cross formation, I'm going to go with the slightly unfortunate behind head suburb. We'll start them up here. You'll get the idea. You'll know that there are suburbs, and they're probably going to come down in this direction. He says, dragging his mouse. Because if you have, if they're completely surrounded by suburbs, they actually, if a suburb is surrounded by suburbs, they'll actually give you a extra XP. But I feel like these really drop off in the late game. I mean, these enemies don't give you a lot of XP anyway. So this guy here is giving me 5 XP. So this is buffed, from 4 to 5, which is pretty significant. But once you get to the enemies that are giving you a large amount of XP, well, it doesn't really make so much odds, and then I'll probably focus on the mountains. Okay, got ourselves some more burbs. So we'll go with that there. And a village. just for the sake of speed. Oh yeah, we are on chapter 4. I got to remember this fact. So we're in chapter 4, so we want to block off as much of this as possible. Just to make it so that the Lich is a little bit weaker. So I'm going to put a village here. It seems like an odd place for a village, and that's mainly so that I don't have to worry about Lich's palace nonsense. We could even go with... so there's two things I could try, which is one of them is to go with having battlefields that are more likely to spawn chests, which is probably the better strategy. And the other is to just go with having as many fights as possible. By making blood clots. I could maybe have had my suburbs over here for the sake of blocking the Lich. That might have been wise. We could start a 3x3 of mountains here. So lots of things that appear suboptimal, but hopefully it'll just be fine. And you know, we'll be back for tea and cake. In was it two yanks on a sheep's tail? Is that the phrase I'm looking for? I'm just trying to bring out all the rustic phrases. You know, I've got a rustic reputation to maintain here. Okay, we've got ourselves a bandit. Not too worried about that just yet because we don't have great loot, but that will be a high priority thing to Oblivion. Should Oblivion, you know, feel like showing up? So. Yeah, I probably should have tinkered with my supply and things like that, but I didn't. Just didn't do it. So yeah, it says so. This is the first video in my OG playthrough that I've recorded post-release. There was quite a big break in the supply chain. It's kind of unavoidable that would be the case because I'm not able to record kind of just whenever I like at the moment. So yeah, it's been pretty amazing to see the response to the game. Do I make a vampire village here? Yeah, that's. I think that's just reasonable. That actually would have been better to put the vampire below the village, I think. But this will block a Lich Palace spot. So, you know, we can accept this. Let's have a little bit of the old vampirism. So yeah, amazing. I mean, just the sheer volume of people that are playing this and streaming it is kind of mind-blowing. Especially given that most people didn't seem to have heard of, hadn't really heard of this until, until the Steam Games Festival. So I'm just really glad because I just love this game. Maybe, if you're in any doubt about whether I love this game, just I'm gonna spoiler alert. I love this game. Possibly an oversight here. No, it's fine as long as I'm a bit careful. So the Watchtower is going to help me with this fight. Thanks, Watchtower. You've been wonderful. Ooh, big weapon. Big weapon. And barely even worth checking the details on that. They're just guaranteed to be better. Where are we at to now? Good magic damage. Good damage to all. Defense. All that kind of good stuff. That's actually upgrade that as well. And we are just trying to be as tanky as possible, so we're probably going to prioritize defense more than anything in particular. But yeah, always damage is king. This is the rule around here. Certainly the only king that I would kneel before is king damage. Okay, article protection is amazing against bosses. Bottomless bottle is great if you have strong aftertaste. These are all great. These are just great. But this is the only one that's kind of conditionally great. I wouldn't want this without aftertaste. Aftertaste is the one that gives you extra damage for each healing potion. Each healing potion you use. So this is potentially very good, and you can cheese it, which is pretty fun. But I think we are going defense. I mean, this should mean I can just get through the boss. I mean, hopefully I'll get a chance to pick this up later. I'm going to go with article of protection here. And actually, let's put a vampire here again to minimize Lich. I mean, having protection, we should just be okay for the Lich fight, and actually it will help with all the boss fights. It's very strong. Okay, let's have some spooders. And again, I'm putting things with a view to preventing Lich Palace building shenanigans. But let's put the spiders here, so they'll spawn in there. It's nice to have more adjacencies. You better not destroy anything too useful. Wait, Thief. Stealing my stuff. Okay. Alright, let's have some, get these rocks out. So yeah, we'll make a 3x3 with rocks. It's probably slightly needless min-maxing, but I'm doing it. In fact, probably it is better to just make the 3x3, even if it is of mountains, just for the reason that it will buff this. Even if it's not all rocks, it will still be a max HP buff, which we want. But the fact we've got protection here makes me feel quietly confident. I know I'm talking, but I'm talking slightly more quietly than I would otherwise be talking. So let's put a mountain there, getting burbs out. Got some lovely behind head burbs. There's just a mass of suburbs there. Nothing to see here. Regen, Schmiegen. Might want the Wamp shield though. It's a bit of a defense drop, but a big vampirism buff. In fact, because we're going to actually gain more vampirism from this shield because we've got Count's chairs. But I actually think, yeah, I think this is just about worthwhile. Oh, I said I have Count's chairs. Maybe I don't have Count's chairs. But maybe I left them in the sitting room. But yeah, Article Protection, it has a great synergy with evasion. But I'm not really going with evasion. We're kind of mainly going tank. We might pick some evasion up depending on what traits we get. Bit of counter could be okay. So let's keep building these burbs. So I'm just going with the most cross-like formation there. So the next burb will be in there. Oh yeah, in fact, this burb. Because these towns here give me 2 experience instead of 1, so it is worthwhile to do that. And a cemetery. Let's put it after the village. Oh yeah, we are going to Oblivion those guys at some point. So it's probably slightly inefficient to do it this way around. Okay, Buckler, Gift of Blood, and Omicron's Technique. On hit, a hero can summon a Blood, Lightning, chances equal to Vampirism. Now this is a skill I really like with other characters, but with the warrior, it's tied to Vampirism, and I don't like that because it means that I'm less flexible. So I'm probably not going to go with that. But this is also it is a big buff to counter. But I think I'm actually going to go Omicron's Technique. And as I say that, I'm not sure. This is just going to keep me in the fight a little longer. I just realised I didn't select a gold card. Blimmin' mad lad. Let's go with a little... Do we want a little bit of speed? I don't think we do. So yeah, another thing, if you have gold cards, yeah, do remember to select them. Don't be like me. Yeah, there's only room in the world for one me. They're actually much bigger than I appear. Extremely large. Okay, alright, let's have some spiders. I'm feeling like I can just handle some skeletons and I don't have to worry too much about them. We'll go with... This is probably actually bad because what's going to happen is that these guys will summon archers that will then get involved with spiders that are here. But I'm just gonna roll with it. It's gonna be fine. I'm getting sloppy in my old age. Okay, these guys are destroying my stuff. I don't feel like I've got any particularly linchpin gear right now. We'll have another suburb behind the old head. But yeah, we will put a village in front of that skeleton nightmare for too long. And some goblins. And here's the thing. I might just have enough meta progression that I'm just kind of okay. So we will see how this is. Have some more speed. I kind of want to put vampires in here. So maybe I'll put spiders somewhere like here. Then they'll summon to both of these areas. I could have put them in to dilute those goblins, but I'm not really going evasion. Not really going... yeah, so I don't feel like I need crikey, we've got to fight the Lich already. Okay, so we did block a little bit of the Lich's palace. We might end up having to rely on the... actually not going to put this here. We might end up having to rely on our resurrection. I mean, these are both very useful for kind of killing bosses, so it could be but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Time will, or as the Russians say when they're trying to sound cool, time will tell. Though the Russian accent actually just sounds pretty good anyway. To say, to get a bit of accent envy. It's impressively intimidating accent. I like it. Okay. Okay. So, yeah, we don't like this. So too late for the battlefield thing, and this has been my experience of trying to. Obviously, I'm kind of moving fairly quickly. I'm playing all my cards. So if you wanted to use the battlefield, making blood roads to block Lich's palace settlement, you kind of have to do it fairly early. I mean, maybe a more slow rolling approach might work. I mean, I slightly deliberately don't really go with a slow rolling approach, just because I'm making videos, and making the video 3 hours long. It feels mildly amusing, but I'm not sure how amusing it actually would be. Okay, we'll put the village here as promised. And finally we've got ourselves a harpy lair. So that should be a decent max HP buff. So in we go. Going to be fighting this fella. I believe we fought them a few times before. How is it possible? Shut up. Got a score to settle. I can't help feeling like I've been here before. But this is yeah, I mean, it should be okay. Famous last words. So we're not really going with the whole evasion protection thing. But we are just kind of fairly tanky. Okay, we've lost our evasion now. It's going to be a bit of a foot race. We've got the resurrection as backup though. And we're doing reasonable damage. But these aren't the ideal things, but they should hopefully mean that I can just get through this fight. And no, we don't even have blood groves on there. Just wild for me. Wild. Okay. Nonsense is impossible for so many reasons. I don't understand. Next time I'll try something new on this punching bag. No. That's a lie. I'm not going to try anything new ever on this punching bag. I'm going to do it the same way every single time. Okay, this is a lovely shield. We're going to lose our vampirism, but it's okay. We've got the villages for heals. Interestingly, the Lich's Palace kind of there is some benefit to it. Because it's basically a free space. So this is one that I unlocked on stream, I think. So this is here has a 60% chance to reflect a range shot into a random enemy. This is not I think if we had sandworms or scorchworms, they're called, this would be super cool. I really want to make a build revolving around this trait. but no scorchworms means no dice with this. I think I'm going to go with skilled armor just for that extra defense. It's going to make me more tanky, and there's going to be a few more loops yet. Bottomless bottle is also tempting, but without, I think I'd rather always take aftertaste first. Okay, this is it's an upgrade, and a bit of attack speed with a bit more. So the attack speed's going to make up for the slightly smaller amount of damage. Okay, and more burbs behind the head, and we don't have an Oblivion, but we've only got 2 villages, so we're not going to be placing a bandit with this next village. So let's just put it up here in preparation. Actually, no, we could put it down here. There's no reason not to put it down here. Actually, we could just block these goblins. It's a bit of a chicken. Apparently I can't count. Oh yeah, because this is has come to no surprise to any regular viewers that my counting is slightly questionable. I was always a bit scared of maths. It was the one subject that wasn't just straightforward to me. Everything else was like, well, yeah, sure, obviously. And then maths comes along. Maths is having none of my jibber jabber. Yeah, so the priority is to get rid of the bandit camp. So that'll be where our next Oblivion goes. No rush to place these rocks. I'll be honest with you. No rush at all. We'll keep these as backups. I think this is a fairly, this is a fairly nice way of going about this. I mean, we could place the rocks if we want to bring on the fight, if we're feeling particularly good. But our loot is kind of a little, it's not the ideal loot. We've still got the bandits we want to oblivionate. So yeah, that will be something we want to do. Get the old Vampire armor. Okay, so this is more like it. Now we're cooking with gas. Big chunks of magic damage. It's going to be nice against the old... just to give it a look how our lovely little conurbation is doing. And let's see if I can count again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we can have another village. And I'm going to have it because it's going to mean another elite fight. Elite fights, they're not going to really prove a problem because we've mostly gone with enemies that aren't really that scary for us, he says. Famous last words. But yeah, we should hopefully just kind of be fine because even if the fight takes a while, our damage is constantly building because that's kind of how Warrior is. So a lot of people are, now that the game is in full release and everyone's playing, it's really interesting. Everyone is finding Necromancer OP, except me apparently. I don't know why that is, especially as Necromancer is my favourite character. I just don't seem to be able to play them apparently. I think there are some very OP things you can do, and I think possibly also it's because I'm doing chapter 4 attempts rather than chapter 3, so you've got to get a wiggle on when it comes to fighting the early Lich. There you go. I've kind of made my excuse sound like it's because I'm actually really good rather than just. It's also been quite comforting to see that some people that I really think of as pretty big brainers in the kind of streaming space when it comes to strategy are not just winning the game on their first, they're not just instantly winning. It's been a quiet source of relief for me that people aren't just, finding it so easy that they don't even need upgrades to beat the Lich. I do wonder what the minimum number of upgrades you'd need to beat. Sorry, the Lich is relatively easy to beat, but as in the minimum you'd need to beat the Chapter 4 boss. I mean, could you... I just think it's almost certainly impossible without a fair number of upgrades. That's a huge damage boost and a little bit of vampirism too. Ah, the peasant favourite, the old ritual sword. We've already got plenty of magic damage, so not too worried about that. Not too worried. And so I do wonder what the kind of the smallest amount of kind of meta progression for the victory. Okay, so we're not really doing evade here, and we're not really doing this. So we'll go second thoughts and look at some new stuff. Well, I mean, this is more healing, which could be nice. I mean, these are not really ideal. I don't really need to do any farming particularly. So I'm not too worried about supplies. I suppose we could go with this. This is the only one that's going to help me in combat, which is what I'm worried about. If I'm worried about anything, it's combat. Could get some evasion, but I'm happy with this extra bit of damage and a bit of wamp. A little bit of the old wampirism. Never hurt anyone. Okay, let's keep on building Slough. Okay, we'll keep up with these mountains, and we'll keep these rocks for if we really want to bring on the boss. And probably we do want to bring the boss on sooner rather than later, just because the boss is like all the other enemies, it is scaling. Got ourselves a hammer. Which one is that? +1 defense, lovely stuff. The other reason is that I actually have an item that increases my defense by the number of cards in hand. So you might notice this bumping up when I gain cards. Let's see if the Harpy's generous enough to give me some cards. Come on, Harpy, you can give me some cards. It's Okay, fine. Be like that. Spider, though, is a good lad. They'll give us cards. No, they won't. Okay, one of these guys got to have some spare change on them. Okay, so my defense, yeah, see it bumping up there, and defense is, you know, it's a pretty serious resource. You know, it's not messing around. It's pretty serious. So there is yeah, that's another good reason to hang on to some cards. These guys are, ooh, actually. So we might get to see this their own peril business going on here. Wonder if we'll get any fancy animation or anything. Oh, they've just destroyed my nice magic damage ring. You swines! You cads and bounders. Yeah, you're so getting oblivioned. If I remembered to actually have it in my deck. So I did manage to have a gold card in a you know, impressive, frankly quite impressive bit of forgetfulness. But I'm optimistic still. Okay, stop bringing the mountains down. Get some burbs. So what's this? Regen, and I just don't think regen's that good. I mean, it's all right if you like having inferior things. Just one of those people. Just love to have the worst stuff. So we'll get these burbs out. Okay, nice bit of backup armor. Oh, so many enemies. And we're starting to get some more of these, the old books. So I can use for unlocking lore. Which you know, that's probably not going to do that on camera. We'll see. We'll see how desperate people are for the lore unlocks. If you know, if you do have requests, my last video was basically a request video. If you have requests for runs, I'm happy to oblige them. Probably it doesn't matter how stupid they are, because it's not like you really lose anything by having a bad run in this game. So, okay, getting them burbs out. And mountains. She got lots of things we could get here. So we could wait a loop to fight the boss. I don't think that's wise. I think actually I just need to get into it. So yeah, let's put some spooders some skeletons somewhere. Let's put them there in anticipation of a village. In anticipation, yes. And we can have some spiders somewhere. There aren't any. Oh, here's an okay space. So we are going to be fighting Window Lady. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be fine, isn't it? I think I'm feeling fairly confident. I'm not going to make a vampire village out of these, though. I don't want to be too cocky about this. Not too cocky. Just could be a little bit cocky, I suppose. We want to go in with a full hand as well for that bonus defense. And let's go to burbs. I mean, the extra max HP is also useful, but I think the extra defense is quite a long fight, so good to. Yeah, the defense is going to really make a difference, whereas the max HP probably not as much. Okay, what we got here? Blade of Dawn is lovely. Oh, Card Sharp's another peasant favourite. 2 times damage to all is going to be useful. Is it? Yeah, there are multiple enemies in this fight. You don't have anything that's speeding up daytime. Card Sharp, I'm not sure. It's good for bringing the fight early. I think given that we're going with keeping a full hand, probably not so into Card Sharp. Then maybe we are. Actually, I think this for extra DPS. battering ram is good. It's not so helpful with the boss, and I think the bosses are the things that are going to be the problem for us. Let's go with a little bit more of that. Yeah. Maybe we'll just bring this up here. Just kind of keeping the stuff that might... Because we do still have thieves on the map. I know that I'm not going to fight them just yet, but... Okay, so there's a bit of a damage buff, actually. Bit of a damage buff. And that's a pretty big evasion buff as well. But at the cost of a very large proportion of my damage. Too much. Yeah. Yeah, not sure about that one. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep what I've got here. Just surface that. So yeah, keeping as full a hand as possible. Get those the only thing I'm playing as priority is burbs, and probably there's not much. You know, obviously every single experience matters, because it might mean the difference between having that. Oh, there's an Oblivion. So I'll do that after the fight, unless there's any danger of us losing the Oblivion altogether. I don't think there is. Not too much anyway, just a little. Yeah, so I'll do this after the fight on these bandits, because we're getting to the point now where our loot is pretty nice. And we'll go in with a full hand for the sake of that extra defense. So here's Window Lady. Could you please stop smashing my windows? I refuse. To arms. So yeah, Window Lady is a menace. I mean, maybe actually Blade of Dawn's not that useful in this fight, because these guys are invincible, can't be targeted, so not really much point in getting them. But I think maybe the damage all affects the mirrors, or maybe not. Yeah, deluded as usual. But the thing to remember is that my damage is scaling over time, so I just kind of need to tank it out. I mean, yeah, she's not taking a lot of damage though, is she? Okay, so we're now up to plus 70%. So yeah, 116 on that one, 129. So yeah, we're looking reasonable. We've still got 4 potions left. Of course, starting with 10 potions is redonkulous. I guess that's the joy of meta progression here. Okay. Okay. She's done. And a failure again. Till we meet again, Zealot. Yes, Zealot. Oh, forgot to pause. Let's just take this honking great big damage increase. And let's get rid of these bandits. So we'll get rid of their camp rather than the village, because we like the village. We love that sweet little village. Okay, so we're actually quite a way off. We haven't played that many cards recently. So we're quite a way off the fight, the next part of this chapter. We might want to bring it quickly. We're at 7. Because that's the thing, our damage is only going to scale so much. We'll see. I guess we'll just kind of pay attention. Well, I don't think we've got enough. We don't have enough cards in hand to bring it kind of next loop or anything. Oh, hello, Ghost of Ghost. Oh, sorry, just Ghost. Just Ghost. I'll quite happily keep playing Suburbs. I think there is a point though where you don't really want to play, where Suburbs aren't really that worthwhile. But they're making all these little fights into much more worthwhile. So where are we up? 1496. So 1556. So we're getting, but you know, it's a decent chunk. But as you can see, proportionally, it's not as much as it was in the early game. Okay, so we've got ourselves Village Cemetery. Sort of really nice idea for a kind of tooltip in the Discord for this game, which was that it would just, if you mouse over something, it would actually just tell you how many were on the board. So currently 1 village, 2 villages, 3 villages, 4 villages, 5 villages. So the next one will summon bandits, but we've got the Oblivion handy, so there's no dramas. Oh, I'm sorry. They didn't even get a chance. Those poor little urchins. The brutality of Loop Hero. Okay, another battlefield. So yeah, if you avoid the overlap, you're more likely to actually get the chest. So that's what I'm going to go with. And I'm pretty sure that they chests do appear in villages. Well, actually, it's one of those things that I'm just not sure it's true, but I kind of feel like it must be true. We could probably do with another vampire village as well. Regen schmegen. I mean, maybe a little bit of regen's okay, but I don't think, I mean, I've got 3.4 apparently, but I don't think you ever particularly want to go after it. So we could make a vampire village out of, because you could have a couple of them. Yeah, let's have a vampire village up here. And we can get some spooders out. I mean, the map's already looking pretty congested with enemies, but the nice thing about this is it means that we're just gaining a lot of XP for kind of going around. So this village is going to summon bandits, so let's wait until we've got an Oblivion before we play it, especially as we are, of course, trying to keep a relatively full hand for the sake of our ancient book, I think it is. Got to sell some silverware. Lovely stuff. Skeleton there's getting involved. Getting some nice loots. I think the only thing that I'm really prioritising is the suburbs, because, you know, that I can't handle the idea of missing out on a tiny little scrap of XP. Especially I've got what I feel is a fairly random collection of traits. Goblins trying to prove that they're still relevant. I mean, they are doing some pretty serious damage. I suppose they're kind of relevant. Maybe this vampire village here is a little bit risky. Yeah, I'm actually just going to play this out. Bit of that. So the blood path isn't going to interfere with the space where the chest will summon. Yeah, get some of these lovely mountains out. Or maybe just one. Yeah, I just need to squeeze another one out. Maybe this one as well. But yeah, it's interesting. I figure like if you're gonna beat the game on kind of the late loops but without a million meta upgrades, like knowing what are good kind of combos of enemies might be worthwhile. Like, you know, I think spider skeletons is like a reasonable, but I feel like there must be better kind of where they really get in each other's way. Let's see what we've got. Okay, dominant mass is amazing. Buckler, we've actually got 15% counter somehow. We could go buckler and just kind of build towards a bit more counter. Oh, it's from our spear. The spears, I think, pretty much always give you counter. Yeah. We could do that. I mean, we're at loop 7, so it's going to be about 10.5 health. I mean, that's not really that significant though. Given that if you're countering, you've just taken a hit. So I think maybe we go with Dominant Mass. I mean, Shield Master's good as well, but I've not really gone attack speed here. So I think we go Dominant Mass just for a bit more the old damage. The old damage of Rooney. Okay. Could just go with some evasion. Yeah, I've accidentally nerfed myself by not having a gold card, of course. Classic peasant. Okay, so where are we? We're here. We're looking okay. can't say it's actually looking that ideal, but I think the goblins are actually the thing that was really causing me some problems there. Huh, we'll just summon some more, shall we? Let's just summon a few more of those little guys. But that dominant mass has boofed our damage a little bit. It's going to help. And the thing I love about suburbs is just getting so many traits. Especially when you get those really mediocre ones. You really want a little bit more mediocrity in your life. It's just, there you go, look at that lovely bit of urban sprawl there. And we'll keep on mountaining. So yeah, we are getting poisoned a little bit. Getting a little bit poisoned. Okay, lovely, look at that. Could get the old... could get this. I mean, the vampirism could come in handy, but I mean, it's not really how I'm rolling here. It's not actually a... It's only a slight defense increase. And we'd lose a load of magic damage and damage to all. I mean, yeah, we could do with a bit more healing in the middle of the run. We've just got this kind of slightly pathetic bit of regen per second. Okay, let's get some more burps out. Battlefield. Oh yeah, so let's put battlefield here. And another mountain. So yeah, we're not actually acing this particularly. Not particularly. And I think the vamp was actually pretty good. It's just gonna be supplementing my my health quite significantly because we're hitting like a train, particularly angry train. Get more burbs out. And I think we get to the point where actually we don't really want any more burbs particularly. They're advancing this clock. When actually we probably aren't ready to fight the boss, I don't think. Thing is, are we ever going to be ready? That's the real question. Well, possibly. We've got a couple of things. I mean, the fact we've got armor and we've got protection. These are the protection is pretty great for fighting the boss. So yeah, maybe I'll hold off with the suburbs now because the enemies are now decently leveled, so they're going to be giving me a pretty large amount of XP when they die anyway. So the suburb isn't going to make that much difference. We probably just want to be buffing our max HP as much as possible. Yeah, I certainly don't feel like we're OP or anything. Yeah, we're just kind of limping around. Must have a better ring by now, surely. Wow, a whole ton more vampirism. Let's try it. Yeah, the vampirism might work out for us. Might do. I mean, it's certainly... I mean, there's some green numbers there. Wow, we're getting wrecked by this harpy. This is not going so well. Am I going to have to resurrect against a flipping harpy? What the hell's going on? Has the world gone crazy? Maybe it has. Might even need to just put some villages just for some imminent instant heals. This could be the cost of not having a gold card. Let's put a village here. Oh, it's going to be a flipping vampire village. Nightmare. Let's just oblivion this harpy. And we'll put a village here for the heal. Oh, it's a vamp. Peasant, what are you doing? What are you doing? Blundering myself to death by the looks of things. Well, ignominious. I think that's the word I'm looking for. I mean, but interesting, this might even be a fight I can farm a little bit. They don't do vast scads of damage. Have I actually ended up on with extra health from before I started this fight? I think I might have done just about. Especially once I've, you know, narrowed it down to just a few of them. I think I might have. Oh, Blade of Dawn there. Yeah, I mean, I think that vampire village was a farmable fight. That's actually pretty interesting. Let's have another one here. We do have these cads we've got to worry about. Them in these flippers. But yeah, actually that was interesting. That was an interesting little wrinkle there. Snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. But I'm still a little bit sketchy about the old goblins. And this fight as well is kind of doesn't feel as nice as that previous one. I think our loot's okay. We are getting this counter here. That's not really the ideal, but I think I do want to be maximizing my damage. Unless I'm milking the fight. But yeah, I think that was a lucky escape for me there. We're very close to fighting the next boss. So this is going to give me defense and evasion, but 10% evasion. I think I'd rather just not even bother. I was going to say I wipe something with it, but trying to stay acceptable. I wipe kitchen surfaces with 10% evasion. We could, but I think I've now locked myself into keeping a load of suburbs in my hand because I need the extra defense. So yeah, hopefully we heal up in this fight. This bloke here is not going to help. He's ruined it. Damn it, skeleton archer. Yeah, I think we want this 39% vampirism is working pretty well for us. I don't think I've actually done this before, gone with such heavy amounts of defense kind of vampirism. It's alright. Acceptable. I mean, we're now at pretty much full health, and you're trying not to be too smug about it. Wow, that's 11 magic damage. A wonderful thing to see. Okay, so we'll keep buffing our max HP. That's pretty worthwhile. And these rapiers they always have vampirism on, but it's a huge damage decrease, so I think it's not worthwhile. Not worthwhile. Oh, we've got this watchtower joining in. Thanks, watchtower. Attack speed. So attack speed with the vamp is good, but I think we want to keep our vampirism this high. I think this is seems to be working. Okay, it's a decrease in vamp. Not worthwhile. I think for now I'm mainly going to be placing mountains, or of course, what I might want to do. This is interesting. This is a bit more defense and a little bit less vampirism. We've got dominant mass, but it is extra magic damage. We're a little low on magic damage, so I'm gonna take that. So a slight decrease in vampirism percent, but so I think we do bring the fight here. We should hopefully refill our hand here. So we'll improve our max HP. So I think I'll place these businesses here. Oh, okay, fine. In that case, we can place more suburbs, I suppose. So we're deliberately trying to bring the boss. Okay, we have the boss. Old Douglas Dogman, as his friends call him. Is this no, we want to keep our vamp pretty high, I think. And yeah, hopefully we'll refill our hand. Yeah, or mostly refill it anyway. Ooh, ritual sword. So that's actually a 38 to 53. So it is a bit of a damage increase and a defense increase. And counter, we do, you know, are we really using counter? I mean, because we don't have any attack speed buffs or evade, counter's actually not too bad. And I can't actually remember if magic damage is particularly useful against this boss or not. But the extra defense I value pretty highly. So I think I'm going to go with that. Okay, it looks like we're up to a full hand now. So that's story time. The hunt begins. Get him. Woof. All right. So yeah, I guess we'll see how it goes. So these guys are tricky. They trick you into thinking that you're doing really well, and then next thing you know, they heal themselves. A blooming nightmare. We don't have any potions either, so we do have a resurrect. And the other thing to remember is that our damage is constantly scaling and getting higher and higher. Could do with getting our Blade of Dawn at some point. Time is taking its time, I guess. Because then we could hit multiple at once. Because someone is going to get a full heal when one of these doggos is taken out. I think, is it everyone gets a full heal? Everyone. Yeah, gross. Truly disgusting. So hopefully we can do it. Come on, come on. I mean, but also remember we've got the Resurrect too. So the other thing is it's not over now, because if one of them dies, yeah, there you go. So it's just me and old Douglas Dogman. But I'm now buffed by 130%, which is redonkulous. Because worry is redonkulous. It's just a waste of time. The new hunt is coming. I've already got your scent. Well, that may well be the case, Douglas Dogman, but you're dead now. And I put you in the ground. And this is just a wonderful set of armor. So okay, we've got the old the next guy, the next boss. We want to be as tanky as we can be for the next one. Yeah, that's pretty much the situation. It would be nice to get rid of any bandits that are on the map because we've got some really nice loot. Yeah, so that would be a good thing to do before taking on that boss. Yes, the vampirism I think is going to be pretty good for us for now. Yeah, we're just gaining good amounts. So almost like we're farming the fights. However, the thing is, as the enemies do scale, we do kind of want to bring the end on fairly quickly. We don't really want to be prolonging it so much. I mean, there might be a nice post loop here, but we need to get there, and that involves taking out the boss. So yeah, I actually think I am going to try and place as much stuff as possible and bring that fight on as early as I can. So yeah, just placing things kind of for the sake of them, because that scaling is no joke with the boss. It's kind of each loop, everyone gets tougher. Okay, what do we got here? Battering Ram. Hero rushes into battle head on, and his first attack has a 75% chance. Okay, Gift of Blood. Now, I was rejecting that earlier. We've committed pretty heavily to vampirism, so I guess we'll commit even more. So we are going to be doing some kind of splash damage. Splash back, even. So on hit, hero can summon a Blood Lightning. It seems to be like a kind of weird form of counter. Let's have another vampire village. So yeah, possibly the thing here is actually just to try and summon the boss as quickly as possible. Yeah, get rid of the bandits, summon the boss. That's the dream. I want to keep that, actually. Yeah, so I'm not going to be... So I'm going to be playing as much as I can, but it would be good to go into to the boss with a full hand of cards. That would just be great. I'd love that. Because that extra defense is going to make a... It's going to be helpful. Yeah, for the sake of... Because the more... Yeah, we might be able to do this. We might be able to get the boss at the end of this loop. If I am going to finish it, you know, I'm still going to not play the rocks if I can avoid it. I'll do that if we get very close to the end of this track here, but if not, then I won't. Because that would just be rude. Okay. Ah, it's good to go hands-free sometimes. Rest those little hands. Yeah. Oops. Missed out on a valuable bit of XP here. But yeah, I'm not sure if we are going to get the... Yeah, I think that blood thing is going to be doing some pretty good work on us. Yeah, it's that kind of red thing that happens. You see it. Yeah, that kind of crackle there is my my kind of counter damage. Okay, mountain, some burbs behind the old head. Check out, look at all those burbs. We'll make vampire fights because they just seem to be a good fight for us. Let's just hope that's still true. Put that there. Put that there. They're going to be nicely diluted. So yeah, we're just trying to get that boss out as quickly as we can. Just brick this up to the top. Might want that. But yeah, it looks unlikely that we'll get it this round. But we may get lucky. Do we just gain ourselves some gubbins? Ghost of Ghosts, nice to see you. 20 magic damage should come in pretty handy with this this lad. Oh, Primal Matter. Lovely. Lovely stuff. What? Creature's 6th strike is guaranteed to kill the hero. That's horrifying. That's, well. Well, there you go. At least I read that tooltip before and I wasn't so horrified, so surprised by it. That is horrible. We did get some cards that aren't normally in our deck because Primal Matter is very cool. I didn't realise that Primal Matter could just one-shot me though. That's that's interesting. Let's hope I don't need that Resurrect later on. Brutal. I mean, they're kind of unusual. You don't see them. They can even drop gold cards, which is pretty intriguing. Unlikely we're going to be able to place the Blood Grove, unfortunately. We can actually put the ruins here. Oh, they'll get involved in that vampire fight. Yeah, well, we are trying to bring on the end. That Primal Matter. Oh my god. It's like, yeah, wow. Can I prevail despite the efforts of Primal Matter? Only time will tell. Let's make this into another vampire village. We've got the Oblivion. We've got bandits up here. They're not actually going to bother with us for now because this is a vampire village, and I don't think bandits like vampire villages. I think they're scared of them. There you go. But yeah, it looks unlikely that we're gonna. I think actually these guys are never going to come into this vampire village, so we can just leave that for now because the Oblivion will kind of reverse the clock. That's a ruins. let's not put a horrible fight in here. Let's put a wasteland there. Yeah, that primal matter. That could be it. That could have aside from not bringing a gold card with me, that could have been that could have doomed me. Because that resurrect does come in handy. I guess it already has come in handy, right? I'm still alive. Still living the loop hero dream. Okay. So we could put this village next to a vampire if there is such a space available. Yeah, here. Ah, and they've gone in here, you little cheekies. Get out of here. Scram. So yeah, let's keep on with this optimistic. I mean, we've got a lot of fights on this route, so you know, we may well. Elite archer there. We may well get. Yeah, we might do this. We might be able to summon them at the end of this loop. Loop 8 would be a pretty nice time to summon them. These goblins, not messing around. And I'm now feeling a bit wary about placing battlefields. We were a bit unlucky on the RNG front there. That was pretty rough. It'd be nice to have a better ring. This is a good chunk more magic damage. Is this another primal matter? Another peasant destroyer. We could take our vampirism down a notch for a bit more magic damage, but actually I think we keep it where it is. This guy luckily doesn't have the ability to kind of kill me. And I'm not bitter, okay? I just want to make that really clear. Not bitter. Peasant's not bitter. Not bitter at all. Never bitter. Always optimistic. Just never ever bitter. Oh, that was a slight mistake. A slight mistake, an oversight, if you will. That's a phrase you won't hear me say very often. Kind of hate it. Let's put that in there. Yeah, we're looking a bit dinged up. Yeah, looking a bit dinged up. Can we do this? We could try, damn it. We can try. Skeletons. So if we get another primal matter, we might get the a forest tile or something that we can use to place that blood grove. You can dream anyway. Crikey, yeah, we need to. We are getting kind of outpaced by our enemies. Okay, let's get these burbs going. These vampire village fights, though, should be just a chance to heal, recover, you know, a bit recreational fighting. So yeah, hopefully nothing too bad. This damage all's kind of tempting. That's a 39 to 52 versus a 38 to 53, but it is damage all. Thinking about the boss. Nah, there's defense on this as well. I think we'll hang on to it for now. It's good backup though. Oh wow, got all this stuff. Okay, that's gonna give me some counter. Yeah, I think what we're doing is working acceptably. That's only a tiny bit more defense, but it is a chunk more magic damage. Yeah, I think we're going more for the tank approach. We'll let our longevity be the thing that gives us our damage. I mean, is this still a fight that net gains us health? Ooh, I guess we'll find out. It does look like it. course, I didn't check before, but it does feel a little bit... Because it's this last stage of the fight. They're not really doing me much damage. But I'm able to still... Yeah. These are heals for me, these fights right now. Okay, let's have some more suburbs. And more suburbs. Bring the mountain. I mean, yeah, we might be able to do this, you know. We've got a lot of fights till we get to Tipperary. Getting that reflecting, that's from my ability that I really want to make a build around their own peril. 6% chance to reflect a range shot into a random enemy. I dream of using that. Let's just surface that in case something happens to my dagger. And we've got mountain we could place. So yeah, these fights are great. These are just, there's no downside to these fights as far as I can see. Village. The only thing we might switch into is this mace. Get some more mountains. And we could have a village somewhere. I guess the only danger is that if we place a village not next to a vampire, then we might have bandit issues. We don't have an oblivion. We do not have an oblivion. So yeah, it looks like we've actually got villages in all spots, so we'll probably hang on to that for now. Or we could place it behind us, I suppose. Does that make sense? It might make sense. Because then the only place it's likely to want to go is adjacent to that village that I've just placed. And then that's going to mean that it doesn't matter because I'm trying to get to the boss. I guess there's still a chance that I don't gain enough progress on this boss track to actually fight the boss. That's still possible. Okay, so that's a big honker of a defense buff. So then that's something else that I might want in my my toolkit, in my tool belt. I miss the days of having a tool belt. I used to have one when I used to build stages. It's a fun job. Let's have some of these babbers somewhere. Or alternatively, we don't have babbers and we just try and advance this track. I guess we just try and advance that. I kind of really don't want to go into this fight without a full hand of cards, though. I know that we've got defense 51 right now, but I think that a good chunk of that, 8 of that, in fact, is just from having cards in hand. So I don't really want to not have that. But then I think that in addition, just getting to the boss fight kind of sooner rather than later is also pretty important. Okay, so this is a 41 to 56 damage weapon. So it's versus a 31 to 53. But yeah, I think the damage always could be good, but most of the trouble is that actually the damage will make these fights that I'm kind of healing on. That actually make them finish more quickly. So kind of not actually what I want. I don't think anyway. I guess they'd help in the goblin fights that are kind of maybe losing me health. But actually in these kind of fights where I'm kind of mostly gaining health over the course of them, actually kind of less than ideal. Getting up here. Attack speed? Nah. Okay. So let's have more mountains. And I'm here. Yeah, okay, I'm pretty sure we can finish this fight. I am pretty sure that it's a thing that's possible. Let's put a village somewhere behind me. It looks like there's nowhere for the bandits to spawn, or maybe it's on the next one. I'm going to place a couple of these rocks in the middle. just so that I don't overflow my hand and lose cards when I really want to make sure I do get the boss summon. Do this, that. So yeah, pretty chilled end to the fight with old vampire boy. Okay, let's get these burbs. We can't in a strip like this. We could never actually fully surround burbs anymore, so we just have to accept the mediocrity that's on offer. Actually, here's a better way because we can actually at least make 2x2s. All right. Okay, Bossy McBossface has shown up. So now we just want to have max cards in hand, make sure we've got the best loot. And this boss music is amazing. Might actually briefly pump it a little bit. Wow, just the presentation on this game is incredible. It's incredible. I mean, the gameplay is awesome too. Did I tell you I like this game? It's my game of the year. Possibly you knew this. Marginal benefits to placing these suburbs. Well, I mean, couldn't we actually get another skill by the end of the loop? It's possible, I suppose. Unlikely, but possible. But sounds like a worthwhile thing to pursue. Having a full hand, though, is more likely to actually get us the success we crave. And it is a craving. And our 44% vampirism's pretty getting that kind of weird blood thunder gift of, what's it called, blood lightning kind of counter business going on. So we'll take the suburbs down this area because it's just not as good for mountains. Because we can't get the kind of 2x2 business going on. Ooh, loving this reflect thing. This is the dream. I want to make a scorch worm run with this reflect ability. Just have scorch worms everywhere. Oh, it'd be such a good time. Yeah, just be drowning in winds. Probably not. So yeah, we're just going to squeeze every little bit XP from this situation. Kind of feel a bit down, and well, not down and out, putting a bit strong, but about having only 3 potions going into the final fight. But I don't think waiting another loop for the sake of it is the right approach. I think that's somewhat doomed. Got quite a nice haul from this though. Look at all these yum yums. We're doing all right. You know, even if we die, we'll die with a smile on our face and 39 metal, 55 War of Expansions, some books. You know, it'll be good. It'll be wonderful. We might want to. No, we don't want to take this. I was going to say this might be a damage increase, but it's not. We'll put you down here. Get out of here. Skedaddle. Scram. Yeah, so these guys are just very helpful in this particular circumstance. I think even this bloke doesn't make too much difference to the usefulness of this fight. Even old Archer. Okay. Could replace some of these villagers and vampires, but I just want to do everything I can to beat the boss before I worry about the any post-loop possibilities. I mean, we could well get ourselves another skill here. So I am going to try towards that. We've got ourselves a Count's Chair. It's buffing vampirism. If you already have vampirism, pretty nice. This harpy was wrecking me earlier. It was really messing me around. We could go with this ring, you know. It's a big decrease to our vampirism. But the counter could be worthwhile. It's a lot of counter. We don't have attack speed buffs. We'd be losing a smidgen of defense and a lot of van. I don't know. But counter is very good. We'll hang on to this. Okay, this is a 36 to 54 plus 11 defense. Now, that's actually going to be more like 38 to 56 because of the extra damage from the defense. So I'm going to take this axe. We should now be getting horribly tanky. I'm not sure exactly what the maths are on defense, but you take a proportion of, you know, you just reduces the amount of damage you're taking. This ring is tempting, just for that extra little bit of count. Yeah, those extra attacks. We've got no other pressure on our stamina bar as well, which makes me think this could be good. It's a lot of counter in a small package. And yeah, we'll see what our skill is. I'm feeling optimistic that we're going to get it. And we're just letting the cards roll on down. So how far? Yeah, we should. I don't know. My feeling is we should get there. Yeah, regen just doesn't really hold its value this late. Okay, this could be one we take. So this is 46 to 63. It is a lot of damage. So how much more damage? So that one there was because of the defense, the dominant mass buff. This is effectively a 38. But the thing is, that defense is pretty relevant. 38 to 56 versus a 46 to, I mean, it's a huge damage increase. Huge. I think we take it. You know. I'm still thinking about this ring. I mean, we're running out. We're getting to the point now where we're not milking these fights is less important than beating the boss. And maybe ideally I would have switched that out later on. Maybe. I still feel like there are lots of nuances of this game that I'm just not really getting. Okay, Shield Master would be good if I had more attack speed. It's still decent. Chunks on killing enemies, a bit late for that. Battering Ram, possible 1 second of reprieve. I think Shield Master is going to be better. Thinking about the boss, feeling fairly confident about the fights on the way to the boss. But now there's, you know, if 1 in 10 attacks hurt the boss, stun the boss, that's pretty good. But yeah, just the main thing now is maximum hand size, just full hand. Not taking any chances on anything, reducing the number of cards in my hand. So even I want to, ooh, too late. Like maybe the mountains might have been worth placing. But we're sitting on mostly full health-ish. Alright, here we go. So yeah, obviously this is going to be pretty spoilery. This is the Act 4 boss. You have been warned. You are the one that no longer exists. You died trying to hasten our meeting. Why are you here? I left my world and came to this one. Know that I've already defeated you once. Another world? That's interesting. Probabilities, I get it. Opportunities. You shouldn't have done it. You've already settled the outcome of this battle in your probability. I can't allow myself to not help the world when no hope is left. You're intruding in the events of other probabilities. This creates chaos. How many of you are now intruding other probabilities? And how many of those probabilities have I already defeated them, along with their world? Your quest has started a battle that is going to last for all eternity. Yes, I understand that now. But you know what? That will only happen if I lose. Nothing has changed. I will stop you everywhere I can. Fine. I understand your pursuit. We shall fight here and now. But look at this art. Oh my lord. Oh my, literally my lord. And actual lord art. He's removed all my stuff. Outrageous, and he's removing everything. It's just shocking. He's removed my business. It's despicable. But I'm still scaling my damage, thankfully. He hasn't removed that. He hasn't removed any of my perks either, so let's see how this goes. Well, it's looking reasonable. It's looking okay. Looks like a lot of these abilities are not applying anymore. Feeling gently optimistic, but after that primal matter just killed me. So yeah, just to give him a mouse over as well. So lots of HP, some damage. Cosmic has a soul, apparently. I am. It destroys all cards and items at the start of battle. Every third... Oh yeah, of course, so keeping all those cards was irrelevant. Every third attack erases one item and one of the hero's stats from existence. Lovely stuff. So it's just my items and stats that are being reduced. So you probably might want to just have a load of random stats, maybe? Whoa, he is... Oh no, come on. Not like this. That flipping primal matter is going to cost me the fight, isn't he? Can you stop evading, please, God? You know, I have this one ask of you, All-Father. Okay, got him. That's an amazing desire to live. I'm amazed, and still, I can't believe I managed to do it twice. What does this even make me? Will you be reborn as a creator god now? The cosmos is already waiting for my death. I shall embark on my final trip. Know that this world will never be the same. Your intrusion interrupted the natural flow of events, interrupted its consistency. Emptiness was this world's fate, and now it has no fate at all. That's not true. Look at us. It was a natural and appropriate outcome. We entered a probability that was different from ours, but it wasn't accidental. It was done because of our way of thinking, our principles and capabilities. To put it simply, it was almost inevitable. It fits into the paradigm of this world. Yota is right. What choice did we have? We've helped where we could help. And we would do it again if an opportunity arises. You're right, but I am not wrong either. Everything has its consequences. Should go. And your actions are no exception. Don't forget that. And farewell. Well, there you go. That's going to wrap it up for that video. I realise that that's actually the second boss dialogue. So what I'm going to try and do is upload a little video with the first boss dialogue. And apologies, that's me flubbing. You know, flapping around in a short peasant fashion. So like the video if you like the video. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll catch you in the next loop.